topic. Alright folks, the revolution begins. So, I see a couple of people in here. Thank you for showing up. It's going to be a very quiet evening. Just letting you know in advance. Hi, this is TarotLumination over in sunny Las Vegas. It is Sunday night, 10th of November, 2024. Hello, Victor. Greetings, greetings. It's an amazing time. We are witnessing astrological history on a mammoth scale. You might not notice it if you don't care about these things, or if you're concerned about other things, depending on how your psyche is built, the condition of your amygdala, your pituitary gland, your connection with the divine, your level of awareness, your willingness to live in truth, your ability to live in truth, and being, thank you, being, accepting things exactly as they are. In other words, on the grand scale, everything is perfect. Everything is exactly as it should be. How is that so? Why is it so? It can't be any other way. Just things the way they are. Certain solar systems and nebulae and stars go supernova. That's what happens over time. Galaxies are born, galaxies die. The Earth has a life cycle. We've already had, according to the geologists and scientists, we've already been around as a planet for about 4.5 billion years, and they're projecting about another 4.5 billion years. We're right in the middle. We occupy a tiny shred of existence in terms of the evolution of organic life, multidimensional consciousness, three-dimensional existence in what we call life forms. So far, I know people are looking, but so far it's just us here on little tiny planet Earth. However, I have seen a few things on alternative media that make me wonder. Now, here's an example. Like 4 years ago, I never believed in chemtrails. I kept thinking that's ridiculous. Who on earth in their right mind would spray chemicals into the sky for doing stupid things like trying to make it hotter or cooler, or reflect the sun, or maybe, a bioweapon to poison everybody, whatever it is. But here we are today, and I see it very regularly. It's very obvious now when I look up. Look up. I see things. I go, wow, hey, there's Mars. Oh, hey, there's Jupiter. Oh, look, there's the moon. And then you see, I've got a couple of videos on my phone about geoengineering, and I keep thinking, again, why? So I was up really early, and I could see them. They were already plastering the skies with their chemtrails. And some of them were flying in tandem, like 2 or 3 jets, like right on top of each other, very, very high. These are, 40,000 feet, which is very high. And they are a little bit scary now. I'm wary about it because I've noticed that I have a physiological correlation to chemtrails. My allergies tend to flare up. It takes a few hours for the chemtrails to settle, so by late morning, middle of the afternoon, the chemtrails had already done their business, and the whole of Las Vegas is covered in what looks to me like just talcum powder. It's very unsettling. Very unsettling. So, yeah, it's good to just be aware and just watch and accept things as they are. Hello, Love Triber. Hold on, I've got something wrong with my systems here, my broadcasting. So things aren't quite working. Hello, Maria. I'm just checking the chat here. Hello, Gregory. Yeah, I got the donation in advance. Thank you very much. Hello, Victor. Yes, you're here for the money stuff. And hello, Necessary Truth. Hello, Love Triber. Hold on. So last week I really messed up my hands from shuffling. I know it sounds strange. You wouldn't think so. But sometimes I get all excited, and when I shuffle, I have this sort of action that I use. And I didn't realize how hard I was clenching to keep my hand in the exact perfect position that works best for my shuffling. And it's been a real problem all week long, and it's still a problem today. And I'm dealing with it. I've also had to do a lot of chores and things that are very manual, and I didn't really have a chance to heal properly, so I'm not really very shuffle worthy this evening. Love Triber had an idea about maybe doing some oracles. I could just use one hand and just, pick from oracle decks and things like that. If people are interested, I'll just do it for fun, I'll do a reading for Gregory because, you're already set up. But I can't really offer much in the way of services tonight. I'm just pouring myself a little beverage here. Hello, Necessary. Okay. Okay. Oh, I know it's just awful. Well, I was reading something about chemtrails today, and somebody took some very, very clear pictures about a big jet that was just streaming out chemtrails. And they did this, some sort of radiography type of photography that breaks up the wavelengths like they do in a science lab so you can identify the chemistry. And what they showed on this one particular jet, that it was releasing barium, aluminum, and strontium, all of them simultaneously. I guess it's in the oxide, aluminum oxide, barium oxide, strontium oxide, and things like that. But this is nasty. I think it's really nasty. I think it's dangerous. It should be illegal. Nobody seems to be accountable or in charge. You've probably seen the videos of what goes on inside these planes. Some of these jets are dedicated purely for geoengineering, and they're just loaded up to the eyeballs with chemicals and pumps and sprays. Some of them are installed in the belly of passenger jets. And over Las Vegas, there is a flight path which kind of goes like this. Well, it's like this way. No, it's not. Where is it? It's this way here. Mostly this way. And a lot of traffic. There's a lot of traffic over here coming into Vegas. Vegas is still a very, very busy city. And a lot of the traffic comes across this axis here, east-west, because it's the safest way to land, because sometimes it gets very windy, and landing a plane in Las Vegas can be very treacherous. But anyway, when you look up at the skies over here, it was just blasted. Almost all the trails go diagonally like this. And then they spread out over a few hours. It's horrible. The air was pristine this morning, absolutely pristine. You could see the mountains crystal clear. And then hours later, it's just talcum powder everywhere. Horrible. I've got bad allergies. I have to take strong medications every day. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Some kind of poison, geoengineering things. Anyway, the thing about chemtrails is just one tiny version of all the truth and the realities that we've been exposed to over the last few years, but especially in the last, I would say, 9 months, when Pluto and Uranus and Neptune were aligned very, very tightly, close to their degrees of desperation. And we were given an immense privilege to see behind the veils of deception. If you look at the Neptune in Pisces around the 29 degree mark, where it was about 4 months ago, that was especially like 3 months before, let's see, a Virgo, June, July, like around June or July is when there was a tremendous amplification in the awakening process across Earth. people just waking up, shocking realizations. What is going on our planet? Who's doing what to who? How could any group of people be so demonic, so barbaric, so evil? And yet there they are, doing their stuff. And the veil was lifted. Especially, we got extreme clarity during the Virgo season as the little planets moved through. Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Moon moved through Virgo time. Like a big flashlight shining its light all over Neptune. And tragically, sadly, energy is what it is. And if it's exploited for nefarious purposes, you get nefarious purposes. Energy is energy. It's neutral. It's how we interpret or exploit. And so the elites, as I like to call them, decided what they want to do is exploit the energy fields. And it's for... They switched it on to maximum power because they started to realize, oh, not only do we have an ongoing long-term agenda to cannibalize humanity for our own benefit at their expense, we have a very serious challenge coming up called the election, where everything distilled into a virtual war between freedom and tyranny. That battle has been fought and a major victory has been achieved, but the battle is won, but the war is not over. And the veil of deception is still open. It's going to change. And we've already had the glimpse, and you can't unsee what you have seen. Now, I've learned today, just from being around, hanging around, that there are people in my vicinity who are completely oblivious to what's happening at the spirit level, at the soul level, but they're very aware that something has been happening at the 3D consciousness. They saw it as an election. And they felt it as, good versus bad, Republican versus Democrat, like Orange Cheeto Man versus Cackling Kamala lady, and so on and so on. And they chose a side, and some of them chose the opposite of what I choose, and they are in shell shock, they're traumatized, they're in denial, and they are struggling to accept what society has selected. Oh, God. Sorry, my sinus is really burning up. And here we are, September, October, like 3 months later, the veil is still open. Neptune is still at the high degrees here, roughly 27 and a half. We've only got 2 degrees difference from 2 months ago. So we are still witnessing massive wholesale, what's the word, exploitation? Not really. Expression of evil. And it's out there. It's right in our faces. And it's very hard to unsee it once you've seen it. It smells like death. It smells like rot, sewage. And there's so many examples of it I can't really talk about here on YouTube. So I now speak more openly and freely on Rumble. Some of you know that, and you've hung out with me now and again. But I don't really do any of the tarot readings on Rumble. I'm just doing the little Sunday night thing here out of courtesy, and we have a long history of doing a Sunday night mini tarot reading. So we're here again, many years later. Hold on, I see more chat come in. You haven't seen the stars forever. I know, it's hard to see them. Some states are starting to ban spraying. Obviously not Las Vegas or Nevada. It's beautiful till they spray and then the sun disappears. Yep. It's so bad in New York. I have not seen a star in about 4 years. Clouds and clouds. Just lines and lines of... Ugh. Oh no, that's horrible. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's absolutely true, and it's very, very real. Some of you know that I'm not a great fan of the so-called climate agenda, COP29, Agenda 2030, World Economic Forum, United Nations, and the World Health Organization, and all of those crowds of very creepy people, the European Union, and so on and so on, because they're deeply invested financially and spiritually in a very, very sick, what I consider a very, very sick agenda, which is part of their smokescreen Neptunian scam to take over the world, presenting to us that they are here to save us, and that they have coalesced as a group of extremely intellectually superior people who know better than you about your life and what's good for you in your life, in your world, and they're going to take over and control everything from the top down, essentially globalized tyranny in modified forms of Chinese-style communism mixed with Russia, North Korea, Venezuela, Ecuadorian, Brazilian, Cuban type communism. And people started to wake up here in America. They realized that, oh, this is not good. And enough momentum was built up to challenge the so-called deep state and put them in their place. So right now the deep state is on hold. They have been basically unplugged from being able to operate effectively in the short term. And right now they are reconfiguring themselves in how to proceed now that the global landscape has radically changed. So let me go to the charts for a minute so you'll understand a bit better. Hello, Diana. Thank you. Hello, Fluffles. Wow, it's been a long time, people. Before we go into this, I'm not really going to do much in the way of readings tonight. I'm going to try and get through one for Gregory, and I can perhaps offer some little one-hand oracles or something like that, just for fun if anyone's interested, and we'll just have a little hangout, okay, like we did in the old days in our community. So here's what I've been doing. In the empty sessions between each Sunday here on YouTube, where I just don't appear anymore on YouTube, the channel is still there. It's still live, but it essentially being just algorithmically crushed. So do not, here's a couple of pointers, do not put anything in Super Chat. You're throwing your money down a toilet. Do not do it. I love having donations. I need the donations, but Super Chat, do not do it. Okay, if you want to donate anything, do it through PayPal or go over here. We've done this many times before. I'm just explaining in case there's any newbies. There it is, TarotLumination.com. You go to the donate page. Thank you very much. So anyway, I have become a fearless speaker of truth over on my TarotLumination site at Rumble. And it's fun. I don't feel terrified or threatened. I don't have any warnings, strikes, demonetizations, lockdowns, shutdowns where I can't do anything for weeks. I can watch things, but I can't do any shows. I can't load content. I can't comment. I can't do any transactions. Nothing. So that's all gone because I just don't care anymore. But we're still here. And what I've been doing is sort of changing my strategies and my behaviors to account for what I consider a vast, profound, irreversible change in our perception of reality. Something very, very, very big happened on November 5th in the United States, and it's sending reverberations across the world. In case you hadn't noticed, the actual point of acute precision was November 4th, pointed out very, very succinctly by Necessary Truths. That's when we had Mars and Pluto in perfect opposition, which is symbolic of war. Violent war, or perhaps symbolically violent. Extreme, extreme violence to the extreme to get done what has to be done. Now, of course, the theme of war is everywhere across the world right now. It's all over Africa, Central America, East Asia, Eastern Europe, Western Asia, and so on. And America is at war with itself. Every day my eyes pop open with new revelations that I find it's hard for me to realize that, like, wow, I can't believe that I didn't see that before. And I've noticed a few things coming up at me through the retrogrades, especially Jupiter retrograde. I'm getting a lot of knowledge and communications coming to me that I'd already studied, 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago, and it's recycling forward into my consciousness. And a lot of the storylines are like, here's what's going to happen. There's these conspiracies that such and such and such is going to happen, and now they're happening and they're real. And it's kind of soothing to realize, oh, you're not insane after all. All those wacky, crazy ideas, and this is my version of it. I wrote my little book, Wealth, Money, Finance, Global Restructuring, January 2020. To write this in preparation for January 2020, I worked for a long time to get this published. So I've been aware of what's happening for a long time. But this is already 4 years old. The core theme inside here is now just starting to play out on the global scale. So, in terms of time and timing and how life and history and life experience plays out, you have to be very fluid. You have to be very receptive to the inner dynamics and the things that you could call perhaps intuition or ESP, extrasensory perception, remote viewing, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairsmelliance, clairknowance or something. Well, all those, multi-dimensional perceptions, okay? So, right now, let me go to the chart. So, before I go to the chart, I wanted to let everybody know that I now have an X account. My X account is very important to me because I'm using my X account as an archive. Anything that I find that's really important to me that resonates with my, let's say, perceptions, beliefs, understandings, and I need a record of it for future reference or just to alert people who watch my X, I put it on X, wherever it comes from. So if you visit my X, what you would notice is that I have a video every day about the global astrology, and then I have little snippets in between with stories that relate to the astrology. And what I'm enjoying is seeing that there's more and more and more viewers on my little X channel, and more viewers growing on my Rumble channel. So I'm very proud of that. Happy birthday to me. And I feel kind of sad in the way that I can't communicate here like I do on Rumble, so I invite people to come and visit me on Rumble, but it's really hard to move people off a platform. Like if you love Facebook and Instagram, and that's your world, it's hard to tell you to go to my Substack and my Telegram. People are like, I'd rather just say goodbye. It was nice knowing you. So I understand. Anyway, so over the last few months, the revolution is already being in play. Pluto turned direct way back in September. So you go back to Pluto turned direct in September, and so we've had we're almost 2.5 months now into Pluto direct. And what that indicates that anything and everything that could go wrong went wrong during a 6 months period of Pluto retrograde, which was basically the unraveling of let's call it the deep state, the opposition. I think of it as the opposition to we the people. And the more and more it came unraveled, because anything and everything that could go wrong will go wrong, and it went wrong because their whole existence is based on evil. In other words, a deliberate abdication of love. And in order to keep their world going, they have to suck in more life energy from other people, like cannibals, like vampires, to keep it going. But with the awakening that happened during the Virgo season a few months ago, plus all the other astrology with massive retrogrades of Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Neptune, it's been a real struggle for the elites to keep their game going. Neptune is still retrograde. And so that's gotten more to play out. But what you might have noticed is that there's a lot of fracturing inside America, and it's having a ripple effect across the world. People are starting to realize that there's a world of fake and there's a world of real. And they've seen it polarized in a battle, an epic existential battle here in America between what I consider good and evil. Freedom versus tyranny. And we won. We won the battle. The war still continues. Because the elites are extremely powerful. They have basically, from their perspective, they have and own and control all the money, all the mainstream media, all the propaganda, and the subversive, deep, dark, disruptive machines that they have in the form of nefarious people, through nefarious entities like the CIA and FEMA and so on, and things like that. And so they just keep doing what they do, but it's much harder for them to get away with what they like to do because they've been outed. In the process of being outed, probably 60 million Americans woke up. There was probably already 10 million Americans who were fully awake. Pretty much everyone here on this channel was already aware of this and already fully awake. But the awakening was bigger than I ever imagined, and it's still ongoing. In fact, it's hardly begun because, let me show you, I will jump over here now. Here we are on a TarotLumination messed up piece of ephemeris. This is where the revolution really begins, okay? Oh gosh, come on, please camera. Please, little camera. There it is. This is the real revolution, and it's beginning basically now. This is the 0 degree mark for Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius. That marks the beginning of the 20-year journey into an era of revolution. On my astrodoodle, that's represented over here. Okay, it's just started. In a few days, we're going to move from here to here. That's it. And it's going to reverberate across the world. The theme of revolution is going to expand exponentially as every society, every country, every group of people, everywhere, hi Heather, everywhere, they are going to start screaming out loud, we want freedom. We want to be released from the chains of tyranny. It's already reverberating across the world. It's extremely loud because this thing we just lived through here in America, this election symbolizes basically 4th of July 1776, all right? As symbolized by the previous Pluto cycle 250 years ago. Moving on, we've just lived through our first Pluto return for the United States, and it starts all over again. The revolution now is not between the early Americas and King, what was it, George, 1776. The revolution now is between America and America. The enemy is within. The founders and the fighters of this country already knew that would happen. They knew damn well that once all the power and the money and the elected politicians who were working for the people would eventually become addicted to the power and the money and the control, and they would reach a point to where they are today, where they are maniacally, obsessively addicted to the power and the money and the control, and they are not going to let go without a fight. However, we took them down. We, the people, took them down. Bam-o. That's like the first punch in a major fight that's going to play out over the next 20 years. The deep state is going down. Okay? Just giving you a notice. So pick your sides, pick your team. So that's where we are right now. This is the war, the battle, the actual battle. The main event of the battle was on the 5th, where Mars was not just here, but it was actually here. Okay? Today Mars is in Leo, but back then Mars was 29.5 degrees, opposing Pluto 29.5 degrees. Major war. There's war all over the planet, and the big war in America was the election itself. And we the people won. So a resounding win. And even now, right now, the last stages of the battlefield, the smoke is settling, and we're seeing it wasn't just a win, it was a spectacular win. It looks like we're going to have the presidency, the Senate, and the House, and the Supreme Court. And we're going to have a complete demolition and remakeover of all the, let's say, extensions of federal government and the banking system. While we're here, let's just point out that this is not extreme right now, but we've already had Mercury, Moon, and Venus pass over the financial crises degrees here. We're not extreme yet, but we're getting there. In a few days, the Sun is going to be exactly opposite Uranus, and you're going to see some more global financial scary headlines. You've probably seen a bunch of them already. We knew these were coming. We know what they are. So, I did make a few notes today. I don't know if I can really share them too well. I wonder if I can. You see, this is my stuff that I would normally put on Rumble, but a lot of it I just can't really talk about here. So I think we're just going to have to put this aside. What can I talk about without getting into trouble? No, it's just going to stir up trouble. I'd like to keep our Sunday nights kind of sacred. Anyway, sorry about that. If you want to catch up, come and visit me on Rumble, TarotLumination on Rumble. So, Necessary Truth, thanks for pointing that out. Over the next 9 months to a year, well, let's say, call it 9 months, things are going to change radically across the world. We're living in a very kind of slow-moving energy of Capricorn, Taurus, Pisces, and that's going to shift. The shift has just begun. It's beginning basically in December, where Pluto is moving into Aquarius, and then soon after that, Neptune and Saturn are going to move to Aries, and Uranus is going to move into Gemini. So we're going to have Aquarius, Gemini, Aries energy. So that's going to feel like a soda can that you shake it up and then you pop the lid. It's that kind of energy. It's going to be very, very powerful, fast-moving, fizzy, excitement type of energy, almost like too much for the nervous system. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of people have various forms of psychic nervous breakdowns, because the energy is going to be extremely electric, fast-moving. We're going to start to see massive changes in the global financial system. We're going to see massive, let's say, focus on humanity reclaiming its sovereignty itself. In other words, to honor the individual's right to be themselves instead of being a vessel a cow, a piece of cattle that's owned by a very, very dark, invisible corporation. So a lot of changes coming up. I just think of it as the revolution. That would be here. That's why I marked it on here. It is the... Uh-oh. We got company. Uh-oh. Bubba, hi. I have to... Here, Bubba. Come and say hello to everybody. Come on. Okay, I'm going to say hello. Hi, Bubba. Say hi, Bubba. Here's little Bubba. Isn't he handsome? He's such a handsome lad. He lost his brother 3 weeks ago. He's still dealing with it. But little Boo Boo is a very spiritual cat. Even in his three-dimensional life here, Boo Boo was very spiritual and he could see ghosts. And Boo Boo, who has decided to be, Boo Boo loves Bubba, and Boo Boo has made it his business to help take care of Bubba on this side and do as much as possible to assure little Bubba that things are okay and that Boo Boo's here right by his side. Now today, several times, Bubba has already been looking around the house trying to find Boo Boo, and it gets confusing. So every now and again, Bubba gets very upset. But he's doing really, really well, and I'm pleased to say his coat has become very silky. I've started feeding him tuna, and he's eating almost twice as much food as normal, but he still keeps his sleek body. And I'm going to have to give him a little treat in a minute, but for now, let's just hang out. So, Victor, since you're here, what I can add, you've probably already seen the notes on Jerome Powell and his very blunt response to the president-elect. And you're probably already fully aware that the Federal Reserve Bank, the whole banking system, is a massive, let's say, nefarious machine designed to extract energy from we the people and put it into the pockets of the owners and the operators of their machine. And it's worked very, very well since 1913. It's still very, very active today, and they are not going to give up that power anytime soon, as you could tell from the expression on Jerome Powell yesterday and the day before. However, you've probably also seen a lot of so-called conspiracy theories about the United States corporation and the United States Federal Reserve banking system all being exposed for what they are, which has nothing to do with legitimate, honest, full reserve banking and the constitutional republic of the United States of America. Very, very different things. A massive, incredibly successful and effective deception. Yep. So the show's not over. The war is not over by any means. All that's happened is we have won the battle, and the very first battle, and it has put the deep state on notice that you are no longer able to get away with what you were getting away with. Because we know everything that you do. We know what you do, how you do it, when you do it, who you do it to, and why you do it, and where you do it, with whatever tools and mechanisms that you have. We know all of it. So you're on notice, and we're watching you, and we're going to do everything we can to stop you and your evil agenda. We know that we can't just flip a switch and make that happen, but we're going to do everything incrementally. There you go. We the people have spoken. And like Love Triber likes to say, we the people are the cure. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what Bubba's sign is. He's extremely sensitive. He can be a little bit needy. He loves to be in the center of attention. He has to know what's going on all the time. And if there's a bunch of people around, he has to be in the middle to see who's doing what. He's become very vocal ever since Boo Boo departed, and his vocal range has become wider. He's got different tones and expressions. So, again, let's just briefly, since Victor's here, regarding the money. You've probably seen the massive gyrations in the markets. Bitcoin over 80,000. Real estate market is reaching a maximum peak right now. Jerome Powell trying to lower interest rates. That's a bad sign. A lot of very, very bad numbers with the economy, employment, things like that. A lot of places are going down simply because people are crushed. People have been crushed by inflation. Inflation is an energy killer, a life killer, a country killer. And with, whatever it was, how many trillions of dollars of government spending just in the last 3-4 years, it has really crippled the average American compared to what we're used to. And that is no longer allowed. On the other hand, the new president-elect has inherited a huge, huge, poopy, stinky pile of doo-doo that cannot be fixed just overnight, just like that, by a couple of executive orders and decrees. It's going to take some work to try and recalibrate the global financial system. I think a lot of that is going to happen while Uranus is in Gemini for about a 7-year period. It's going to radically upend the commerce. If you think of Gemini as commerce, interactions between one person and another. Right now, there's a movement towards, like, for example, in El Salvador, they have Bitcoin. The El Salvador Treasury buys 1 Bitcoin every day. They don't care about the price, they just want Bitcoin. And it's starting to work for them. However, adopting Bitcoin as a preferred method of currency and doing day-to-day transactions like in your grocery store, coffee shop, gasoline, that's not happening anytime soon. It's technically going to be possible, but it's a very, very scary thought that you could have like a piece of plastic card that's your Bitcoin money on there, and the value of your Bitcoin, 1 minute it's up to 80,000 per Bitcoin, and then it crashes down to 60. You get scared, like, oh. Whereas if you got a bunch of pesos or dollars, and the inflation and the fluctuations are only marginal, okay? So I think, understandably, people would be a little bit reticent from using Bitcoin as a standard method of, exchange. But I think it's inevitable that we will have a cryptocurrency-based medium of exchange in the long term, because the existing system is being dismantled. Gosh, I don't want to get too sucked up on it because I'll just scare everybody. Oh, I know what you're saying. You can't fight the feds. Don't even try. Yeah, they even create the exams. I don't know. It's crazy. Catfish making policy with crayons. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. You probably also heard that Warren Buffett has been incrementally selling off stock in Bank of America and Apple, billions and billions of dollars, basically trying to get out and to just hold cash, ready to recalibrate his whole portfolio, because he's not stupid. All right, let's just move on. I think I'll just end up scaring people if I talk about. Let me go over here. I need a little bit of time because I want to get ready for your readings. All right. All right, let me just dive in here, okay? I can't shuffle very well. And Gregory, you're up because you're already booked in advance. Let me make sure. Please don't put anything in the super chat. It's probably not any point in doing any donations because I'm not in a very good state for doing readings. My hands aren't working very well. But I think it might be fun to just do a few little freebie oracles just for thrills. You know? Why not? All right. Let's have a look over here. Let's have a look here. Melanie McCall, how can I get a reading? Melanie, here's what I would suggest. For now, honestly, Melanie, for now, I'm not in a very fit state for doing lots of live mini readings. But if you go to TarotLumination.com, you can put in a donation over there. And you can find the connect page and write to me over there. And we'll schedule a little reading for you, okay? Really simple. Sometime during the week. Really, what I do is like, what I can do is something like this. In terms of scheduling, I mean, you could show up on next Sunday, but if you want something soon, you could book something, and then we'll meet up, sort of like this, if you want. And we'll do a mini reading, something like that. And it would be probably like 11 a.m. my time, Pacific, whatever that time is for you, okay? So that's how that works. Does that make any sense? Tesla, Tesla, Tesla! I know what you're talking about, Elon. Yeah, it's hilarious, isn't it? People get all emotional, all worked up. So, all right, Melanie, so I hope that helps. I'm going to do little fun mini oracles, I think, for a while tonight, okay? All right, let's have a look here. So I got problems in all my joints here because I really kind of overdid it with my hands. And I didn't know that I was overdoing it with my hands. It's sort of like people when they get, what is it, tendonitis or carpal tunnel or something like that. And they don't know they're hurting themselves until it's too late. Thank you, Melanie. Hang in if you want a little oracle. I'll do little oracles, okay? Little oracle freebies, just for fun. All right, Gregory, you're up. This is just going to be from way up in the clouds, okay, Gregory? All right, what kind of messages do we have here for Gregory tonight regarding his life, his world, and everything? Something that would not be apparent through normal day-to-day channels, okay? That's why we come here and do these things in the first place. If you're not getting the vibes and the feedback from your immediate environment, doctors, friends, family, workplace, consultants, psychiatrists, people end up here. Okay, here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle things going forward. Thanks, everybody, for the very lively chat. It's very exciting for me to watch from here. All right, okay, external energy. We have an 8 of Pentacles here. To me, this feels very encouraging and very wholesome, like you've tapped into perhaps, you know, it's like a gold miner type energy, where like in the old days, or like somebody who started a new business or something, but I'm thinking very, very old school, where you realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm going through a major life transition here. there is an opportunity for me to rekindle, restructure, do the psychological, spiritual, emotional weeding, clear the groundwork, and prepare everything as though you're starting perhaps. I'm not saying starting a business, but recalibrating your life for ways that are much more wholesome down the road for you. Like what I'm feeling really strongly is that I used to do a lot of small independent craft shows and art and jewelry and ceramics and oh gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I used to do a lot of craft shows and things like that because I was very much self-employed, enterprise, and self-entrepreneur, things like that. Nothing big corporations. But, I had employees for a while and things like that. But when I see the Eight of Pentacles here for you, what it's telling me is that up here and in here, you must have been doing a lot of clearing. Spiritual clearing, psychic, emotional clearing, venting, how they clean vents in air conditioning systems, how you change the air filter in your car, how you clean the space, the workspace so that you can put on a show. Sometimes when you do a craft fair, there's a lot of work in advance, and then you have to have everything nice and clean and set up, and then you do your show. And that's like preparing for the future, having discovered a little nugget of value in advance. For example, like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this, this, and this, and this. I'm going to turn it into a little micro business, Excuse me. And so it's what's that expression? You got to make hay while the sun shines. So with that Eight of Pentacles, to me it's an indication that you've spotted something perhaps very, very subtle in your life, in your world, that would be the equivalent of spotting a little nugget of gold. There it is. And a while back, if you remember, I think we had a Seven of Pentacles in the same position. So it looks to me that a lot of clearing has been done. In other words, like doing a lot of yard work, weeding, fertilizing, grading the land, getting things ready for a new life, a new future, just like a gold miner would do. They would get all their tools prepped up, they would get to the right location, the right time, and so on, and then get to work. And it isn't just slavery type work. It's like investment. It's worthy of your time and your energy, where it all kind of lines up. Just like you would say have a successful craft show or something like that, and there's the amount of energy that you put in for making your little nuggets of something that people like, your skills, your crafts, your services, and then it has this much value when you put it out there. And then when you save that and you reinvest that, it creates more value down the road for you. So it's like building up a future the old-fashioned way, not through debt or trying to mortgage your future on certain imaginary imaginings and expectations, but working within your existing cash flow of life and saving and investing and growing for the future using what amounts to common sense. Sort of like value breeds value, saving and investing in something good. So I think that's a nice thing to see. So here's the situation. What's that? Gout? Inflammation? What's that? What are we talking about here? Oh gosh, excuse me. I'm missing something. Oh, you're hanging in. Okay, Melanie, you're hanging in. All right. So, Gregory, I hope that makes sense about the Eight of Pentacles. Yes, it is work, and it's like having a good regime, a good regimen, like good habits, good practices. And now that you've done some psychic, emotional, financial weeding, preparing your life and your world for like a new future, in other words, Pluto and Aquarius, everybody should be preparing for the revolution right now. What's it going to look like for everybody individually? That's a whole other thing. Because it's worth it. Oh, in my joints. Sorry, Gregory. I know what you're talking about. I don't think it's God. I don't. What it is. I like to be very physical. I've been doing a lot of work with my hands, and I put too much pressure on the joints. Literally, I can put a lot of pressure, and then I have to release it, and it's, I mean they're moving, but if I kind of go like this. I'm not clenching, but if I go from here to here, it really hurts. And that's because I inflicted some damage on myself. So to me, this looks good. You're surrounded by an Eight of Pentacles vibe, which is an indication that you have sensed opportunity. You've done the groundwork, the clearing, the weeding, and so on, getting prepared to receive your bounty because it's out there. This is a little bit of a reminder that in your own way, you are a very lucky man, a very wealthy man, a very happy man, a very blessed man, a very gifted man, loving man, all those good things. And you've got family. You've got people who love you. Okay, so that's very valuable. Very, very, very valuable. In times of extreme crisis, that's more valuable than money itself. Okay? No, I don't have any inflammation. There's no inflammation or anything like that. It's not even arthritis or anything like that. I literally damaged my hands. So, to me, that's very comforting. Now, what are the challenges here? Because there's always some kind of challenges. Is that, oh gosh, yeah. Here's the impediment. This is probably what we were dealing with before, where there are these very, very pesky megalomaniacs, these demonic beast people who are right there in your environment, stinking it all up for you unnecessarily, but they are still there. Either they are haunting you, and you've already moved on, or they are still actively pissing you off. And that's not much fun. So it's understandable. We already talked about this before. These people are literally hollow, empty beasts. They thrive and revel in messing up other people's lives. It's like young kids who enjoy kicking cats and dogs and shooting birds with air rifles, things like that, for fun. Tying the legs together on a cat or a dog and just throwing rocks at it for fun. That's those kind of people that you're dealing with. Very, very nasty, ugly, ugly people. And I'm sorry about that, but you yourself, you're okay. How are we going to deal with things moving forward? Just remember, I think we had this before as well. You come from love, okay? Very, 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 very simple. In order to proceed, it's best to acknowledge the reality of this yucky, stinky, almost like demonic presence. But that's not going to screw up your life and your world. You come from love. It's almost like really simple. It's like you're above all of this, Gregory. You're above all of this, and it's obviously not welcome. But the way you deal with it going forward is where we've talked about this before. Is where you forgive. I have in my little song, one of the lines is, blessing your enemies and blessing the ones you love. These evil people, they can't help themselves. They don't want to help themselves. And the way to insulate and protect yourself is reminding and remembering that you are living in the frequency of love. Being loving, and then being loved accordingly. You're not going around demanding everybody has to love me first before I love you back. No, it's the other way around. You've already figured it out. Be loving and be loved. So it's like creating a force field around you, like a beautiful pinkish, turquoise-ish blue aura around you that emanates love, radiates love, the healing power of love, because you have love flowing in your veins right now. And that makes you kind of immune to this. This is still there, it's still a problem, but you are immune, and you can maintain your immunity by continuing to be who you really are at your core, being a loving person. You are loving, you are loved. It doesn't mean they're going to love you. It just means that you are loving and you are loved. You receive the healing power of love from above. You don't have to try and get it from these people. There's no point in trying to destroy them, evil with evil. That's not going to work, because that's going to disable you and take you out of the frequency of love. Not good. Yeah. So I hope that helps you, Gregory. I'm very happy to see this. You really, really deserve this. Sorry about that, but you can handle it more than easily. You can handle it going on. It's just important to always remember these little simple bumper stickers. Really, that's all it is, like a sticker on your car. Put it on your refrigerator. Be loving, be loved. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, you are loving, you are loved. Yep. Yep. All right, I'm going to shuffle these up and put them away. Melanie, you're up. If you're still here, we're just going to do a couple of little freebies for fun. I'm just going to put this away. I'm trying to shuffle in a way that I don't hurt my hand. Oh, right. Let's put this aside. Melanie, are you still here? All right. Okay, I'll just put it out there. Who's here who wants a little mini oracle reading? Just for fun. Thank you, Gregory. Hold on, let's have a look here. Where's the whispers? All right. Okay. I'm not gonna know. I don't know. No. I'm certainly not gonna do it here. All right, let's see who's there. Who's actually, there's Gregory. Hello, Necessary. There's Melanie. I don't know. Are you still here, Melanie? If you don't want one, it's okay. I'm just going through the chat here. There's Fluffles. Hi, Fluffles. Hi, Diana. Okay. Oh, you are hanging in. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm just trying to get organized here. Okay, let's have a look here. Necessary. You'll take an oracle. Okay, great. Alrighty. So, let's see what that looks like. Melanie, there you are. All right, we got it. All right, Melanie, here we go. Let's do a little mini oracle. I've just picked a particular deck. Okay. This is just for fun because it doesn't really involve much in the way of shuffling. All right, and then we're going to have another one for necessary truth. Is that right? All right. Okie doke. Here we go. This will be fun. All right, that'll work. Okay, I'm going to use Nature's Whispers. It's a very mellow, kind of wide-reaching card deck. And there's a little book. Very cute. I'm just going to pull oracles. Yay! All right, we'll come back. So here we go. Melanie, you are up. All right, what kind of messages do we have here for Melanie regarding life in the world and everything? This is really awkward for shuffling, but I'm going to do it. Okay? I'm just going to do it. God, we haven't done oracles in a long time. Christ. Yo. Just totally random, okay, Melanie? Just sit back and enjoy. God. What was I thinking? That's the thing about all these oracle cards. They're so big. All right, I'm just going to cut it all up a little bit and then pull from the top. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's have a look. What do we have here? You know what? I'm just going to pull randomly, okay? I'm going to pull randomly from the inside, okay? Okay, here we go. This is going to be your little card. It's totally random, okay? Celebrate differences. So obviously you need to see the artwork because it's absolutely beautiful. There's the title, Celebrate Differences. You can see a mysterious castle down there. It's an ocean and there's a tail of a big ocean fish. There's a Fibonacci seashell in there. Then there's a magical, like a unicorn, Sagittarian creature type of thing. Oh, it's a massive dolphin. And then there's some flying geese. And so it looks like blackbirds. And there's a lady riding on the back of the dolphin. All right, let's have a look. Let me put it up here so you can see it. Hopefully the camera will grab it. There you go. So it's going to be over here. All right, I'm just going to read from here. It says, okay, Melanie, this is a little message for you. It says here, you understand that everything in life comes with an opposite. That's very much like this, for example. Also, if you remember the grand sextile from, 10 days ago? Massive, beautiful grand sextile, but it comes built in with its own intrinsic multiple oppositions. So it isn't all cuteness and sweetness. Anyway, it's polarity, it's energy. There's always a positive and a negative. Anyway, so you understand that everything in life comes with an opposite. Even within yourself, you have polarity. Male, female, high, low, good, bad, light, dark. That's a very, very powerful Pluto theme, by the way. And we're heading into the Pluto cusp in a few days. So it is our differences that make us unique. We all come from the same collective, and we all have the light of the inner soul. The more we learn and grow in our thoughts and attitudes, the more understanding and compassion can develop within our lives. Take a moment to appreciate an individual for the qualities that they are sharing with you, and find what learning can be gained from this situation. I would add, even if they're radically different from you. Here's another way to look at it. Because war has become such a big theme recently, it can be very, very comforting. It can be very enlightening to know your enemy. Without judging them, without, cursing them like I like to do now and again. Just know your enemy. For example, right now on the global scale, we're dealing, the enemy is tyranny. Freedom is what we want. Tyranny is the enemy. So it's really, really important to understand your enemy, because if you don't understand the enemy, if you don't understand the opposite, let's say that, Melanie, you are deeply committed and married to freedom. You love truth, integrity, compassion, responsibility, patience, caring, just good, wholesome, common sense energy, and you want your freedom, you want respect. In order to do that, you have to offer it. You have to live by example, etc., etc., etc. Good, wholesome stuff. But there are people who do not do that. And I don't know. I don't want to mingle with them. I don't want to be owned by those kind of people. And if you're not careful, if you don't understand and celebrate, in other words, over here on this channel, by understanding our enemy, which is tyranny, you can bring joy to yourself. It's an amazing feeling when you understand, all these scary things, they weren't conspiracy theories. It was truth. And something to celebrate. Every day that I discover some kind of new truth about people who are very, very opposite to me, I become more happy inside. I'm grateful for everything that I learn on my studies every day. And I celebrate the difference, because I wouldn't know if there wasn't a difference. So for you, Melanie, I don't know if this resonates with certain particular individuals or with whether we're talking about the collective, but that's up to you. That's up to you how you interpret it for yourself, but you heard the little story there. Celebrate your differences. All right, next, who wants one? Oh yeah, we had necessary truth, that's right. Necessary truth, you're up. You're going to get a little oracle. I see your note there. It says, I knew there was a reason I tapped in tonight. Well done. Thank you. All right, let's have a look. Okay, necessary. I'm just going to pull randomly. I nicely shuffled as well as I can. I'm just going to pull from... Here we go. Oh, this is lovely. Let love be your beacon. I don't know if you can see it clearly on the camera, but there's some beautiful butterflies over here. She's carrying a glowing heart pendant. There's some little rabbits over here, some squirrels over here. There's some beautiful trees in the background. She's wearing a beautiful garland. It looks like orchids on her head. And there's a peacock. Can you see the peacock sitting there? It's a little peacock sitting on her arm. Yeah. All right, let's have a look. Card number 42. Okay. Here we go. Let love be your beacon. Oh, you said that to someone today. Huh. Oh, it says here, lead with love. When you enter into a new situation, see love paving the way. If it is a tense situation or a work environment, do a visualization exercise of filling the space with bright, beautiful love for everyone, including yourself. Acknowledge what is going on and be willing to change how you are approaching this. Communications will accordingly be harmonious, and you will have greater prospect to create what you are looking for. Focus on the light within you. Imagine this light shining out of you. Your inner light will permit you to see the world with new eyes and learn new things every day of your life. Well, that's a little bit like the Two of Cups that Gregory had in his tarot reading. And it resonates with something I keep saying all the time, be loving, be loved. But it is a deliberate choice of like consciousness where you have to filter all your, I guess, thinking, your behaviors, your decisions through that very, very simple filter. Are you being loving in this context or not? Sometimes what I like to do, for example, is I like to create habits, good habits. I like to put things on autopilot. I'm constantly trying to improve and refine and be loving and do the most loving thing I can for myself, and then live by example. It's easier to say than do, but if you focus on it, then it can start to become a self-fulfilling, what do they call it, like a positive feedback loop. It feeds on itself. Be loving, be loved. And eventually it does become like a beacon, because you actually start owning it from the inside out, and it starts to radiate from the inside out of you, just like an aura. It comes from within and permeates outside and around you, and you effectively realize, oh my gosh, I'm living by example. I am loving, I am loved. I am being loving, I am being loved. And you, like it said here in the reading, you can even do that in a work environment, or a challenging environment, or a relationship environment, or some sort of contract or agreement or discussion or a meeting or anything like that. Putting yourself in the appropriate frequency to begin before you even walk in the room. Beautiful. All right. Anybody else? Love Triber, may I have a message, please? Yes. Alrighty. Oh, I love that expression. What would Jesus do? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's very applicable. All right, cards are fairly well shuffled. I'm just going to loosely, randomly pick something for you. Okay, Love Triber? Here is your card. Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Thank you, Necessary. All right, here we go, Love Triber. Show your support. Okay, let's have a look, see what we got here. There's this beautiful woman. Okay, she's in a garden. There's a little stream here that leads towards kind of a lake area. There's a little person in a boat. There's some birds on a branch. It looks like there's a white rose coming out of the sky, or some kind of, it's like an angel. There's like a little angel here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a pixie. It's more like a fairy. It's actually like a fairy that is presenting a rose, a white rose, to the lady. As you can see it there. There's the... Oh, hi, Bubba. I'm going to be finished in a moment. And there's some beautiful birds. It looks like bluebirds or swallows up here in the sky. Hold on. Stay there. Come on, Bubba. I don't have any water. I don't have anything here for you. Please, if you could stay there for a very brief moment. I'm going to have to take care of little Bubba, Bubba monster. Just very, very briefly. Be very patient, okay? Oh, don't worry, don't worry. All right, Bubba, I'm going to take care of you. Just give me a second, folks. I'll be right back. This is your card, and this is for Love Triber. I'm right here. All right. Whew. Wow. Oh, wow, yeah. I see what you're saying. All right. All right. It says show your support. Well, let's have a look. Remember, these are just totally random. Amazing artwork, isn't it? Just beautiful. Let's have a quick look again to get into the vibes here. Well, I think that's the little fairy. Amazing. I don't know if anyone saw it, but many years ago, I watched 2 movies about fairies. Both were based on real-life stories. I thought they were incredible movies. I forget the titles. You could probably search it. Okay, it says here, show your support. Take time to encourage a colleague, a co-worker, a family member, or a friend. Be a strong shoulder or a willing volunteer to run errands. Provide a safe space for another's concerns and feelings to be discussed, and be a good listener. Jump in on providing extra time. Sponsor someone else's work. Share in someone's success. All of nature continually shows us the value in creating a strong network. The trees provide shelter and support for many different inhabitants. We are a community, and when we support each other, everyone gains. Beautiful. We are a community. Well, Love Triber, I think you're already doing a very good job at that. Maybe you just needed to be reminded that it's like this is how it works. And you kind of do that already. I don't know how you could really improve on that, but that's what it's saying here. Well, look who just showed up. Robin's Realms Readings. Well, well, well. All right, so I hope that helps you. I hope you get something out of that little micro mini reading. Okay, Love Triber? Let's have a look here. I'm going to pop this back inside. Shuffle up a tiny bit. Oh, little Bubba, he's much happier now. Yes, Bubba is a very smart little cat. Alrighty. Alright, so let's do it for the USA. Okay, we're going to do a little mini reading for the USA after the election, because that was a brilliant idea from Necessary Truth. USA! 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 God bless the USA. Yeah. USA. Here we go. Oh boy. Let's see what that looks like. Alrighty. Okay. All right, let's just pull one out here, shall we? Actually, we should do a whole reading, shouldn't we? I'm going to pull this one way down here. All right. Allergies, man, my eyes. Ugh. Nose. Okay, let's have a look. Stop complaining, TL. Here we go. Let's have a look. Perfect setting. Woo! Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this crazy artwork. So it says here, perfect setting. It's not focusing very well, but it's, maybe you get the idea. It's very radiant. It's mostly a vast landscape. It goes way off into the distance, into the mountains. There's an ocean way over here at the very, very end. And there's this kind of a winding river stream that goes all the way through here, through some mountains. There's the cloudscape over there. And it looks like she's an artist, and she's actually painting the painting. You can see that there's the sun kind of trying to peek through the clouds over here. And there's also simultaneously what looks like little stars starting to show up at the same time. So it might be dawn. It might be a dawn painting, you know? What it's like when you see dawn. Let's see if I can... And there you go. See, it's very, very radiant. Look at her earrings. I don't think those are radio transmitter earrings. I just think they're natural earrings. There's the forest. There's the stream that goes down through there. I don't see her paint box, her paint kit, but she definitely has a paintbrush and she's working at it there. All right, let's just see what the message is. Oh, hold on. Let's have a look. All right. Oh, it says here, this 6. Wait a minute. Oh, it's number 9. Sorry, excuse me. It says here 9. Perfect setting. Okay, America, we're talking to you here. Sunday Night Live, 10th of November, 2024. Big, big, big historical moment for America. Let's have a look. The perfect setting. Okay, it says here. Dear America, Dear America. Let me try and read this. I'm not going to get the light properly. If you have a goal or a vision, be sure to provide the right surroundings for that dream to flourish. Positive self-talk, affirmations, being kind to yourself, celebrating your talents and successes. All of these to create fertile soil for your dreams to take root and grow. Well, that's very much about America. Mercury in Cancer, the farming energy, commerce, farming and trade, and getting everything as good as possible for health and success. Okay, it says here, sometimes when you push too hard, it can actually hinder the harmonious unfolding of your journey. Trust the process, relax, and allow nature to take its course. Well, that's partly what we're doing right now. I don't know if you noticed the profound changes in the atmosphere here in America after our big win the other night. And it sends a shockwave across the world. There's this, for people who love freedom, who want freedom, who cherish freedom, they're willing to work for freedom, they're willing to fight for freedom, and they're willing to protect and defend their God-given rights, free speech, and so on. We are in a very, very perfect setting right now. Trust the process, relax, and allow nature to take its course. Well, we won the battle. We know the war is not over. We know our enemy, and we're just going to keep going. So, belief and positive support is needed to accomplish your goal. I'd like to say continuous belief and positive support is needed to accomplish your goal. Keep in mind, Nature makes growing and blossoming look effortless, but the secret is in all the details. The position of things, the sun, the soil, the air, the water, the nourishment, all the elements. Dear America, make sure you are taking the steps necessary to attain your perfect environment. Woohoo! 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 Mm-hmm. Let's have a look. All right. What's this? What's going on? Hold on, I got to see these notes from. There's a lot of activity here. I just want to check in. Hello, Robin. Something about, hey, let's give the USA an oracle advice. Blah blah blah. Necessary. Robin, what? Hi, necessary. Robin. YouTube, they want $600 a month to fix your channel? What? That's ridiculous. That's a scam. Someone's trying to scam you. Be very, very careful. At the dawn's early light, like the song, yeah. Maybe it's your signal to move on. Okay. Robin is saying, reinventing and reimagining our futures. Yes, Robin, wrong. I set up a Rumble. I'm just not ready to get into it yet. I know how you feel. One step in a new direction, allowing, yes, Robin's realm. I'm currently making 5 big ones. Wow. Okay, don't screw with that. All relative to establishing my foundation and reestablishing my goals. Whoa, my God. It's better to know now than not to be scammed, and then they will probably ask for 20% of your ad revenue, etc. It's good you research this with Mercury shadow retrograde. Yeah, research, yes. New contract, not yet. Mercury retro. Ooh, Robin, I would be very, very, very careful. So here's my experience. As you know, long ago, Robin, I earned my living from my little YouTube channel. I don't think I earned as much as you do, but it was enough. I had 3 epic trips to New Zealand. I had my life in Los Angeles, paid all my bills, and it was a lot of work, and I burned out, and then I got destroyed. Okay, it's just that. There were periods, especially when I was successful on YouTube, where I was getting approached, at least every few days by somebody claiming to be from YouTube as a channel manager, a channel grower, all these kinds of things. And they're telling you, oh, I just need $60 a month. I just need 100, 120. But if they're looking at your channel, if you've got a big successful channel, they're going to say, oh, I need $600 a month and I'll fix everything for you. Yeah, they can do certain things, that's for sure. But it's what I discovered. I don't know if it's this way for everybody, because my channel got destroyed before I ever really got into your world. But I would be very, very careful about working with anybody that is I don't know how you would screen those people, because YouTube does have, let's say, certified channel managers. These are people who essentially take over your channel because they've already recognized that you have a successful channel, and they're looking for ways to optimize your success so that it profits them. Well, that's what they do. And for some people it works really well. For others it's not probably such a good idea. I tried it once with somebody, and I gave up pretty quickly because it kind of gave a jolt of what looked like success, but it really didn't turn into anything very rewarding over here on my end. It just looked like the numbers were getting better, more and more views, more clicks, more blah, 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 but it didn't really translate into a profoundly increased revenue that would justify hiring these people It's different for everybody. Okay, says here you've never felt better in your life. Okay, well then don't mess with that. If somebody's, I even on Rumble, at least once a week, I get people writing to me saying, "Oh wow, I love your work. I love your channel. I'm so amazed that hardly any activity exists on your channel. Why is nobody seeing your work? How come you are not up there with the big time? You need someone like me." Anyway, even if I had the money, I don't think I would hire one of those people, because you enter in some kind of contract, and I don't know how it works, but they get to manage your channel or something and manage your cash flow. I'm just, I don't know. Anyway, so that's that. Let me just check the notes. What's that you're saying? Anyway. Okay, last call. Actually, let's leave it at that. I think it's a nice way to wrap it up here. We did a really nice reading for USA. I think that was very, very comforting. Thank you very much, everybody. And Melon, if you're still here, just get in touch. You can write to me. You know, go to TarotLumination.com. You can find the connect page. You can write to me from there, and we'll sort it out. Or we can, you know, you can come up and next week and do a donation or something like that. We'll work it out. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. And hopefully we'll be here, God willing, next Sunday. But in the meantime, if you want to, come and hang out with me on TarotLumination at the Rumble platform. Subscribe, like, follow, donate, all that kind of stuff. I'm just doing it on Rumble because I can. It's pretty much a free speech platform. It's not perfect, but it's a lot more suitable than YouTube. I love my YouTube, but man, it's almost impossible for me to be free and open there. So I don't. All right. So thank you very much, everybody. Good night. Take care. Be loving. Be loved. You know, that's the TarotLumination bumper sticker. Till next time.